I too would like to offer a special welcome to the parents of our student athletes here this evening. This letter jacket ceremony is a relatively new event for the Monogram Club, and I think it's been only the last 5 or 6 years where we have invited parents, so it's great to see such a large turnout. Likewise, thank you for all of your hard work and sacrifice over the years. It's because of those efforts that your children are sitting in this room tonight. As Haley mentioned, I graduated in 1979, and I was fortunate to win 4 monograms in the sport of football. Today, I'm an orthodontist practicing outside of Portland, Oregon. And as I got on the plane Friday, I was excited and honored to be coming back to campus to take part in this event. I still remember a cold winter's day in 1976 when I got a call from our equipment manager, Gene O'Neill, informing me that I had earned my first monogram and I could stop by his office in this building to pick up my letter jacket. I think I was out of my room in Keenan Hall and down the stairs before the phone hit the floor. So there I was in the middle of January, walking across campus with no coat. Not a smart move on my part. I remember trying that jacket on for the first time and how proud it made me feel. It was a reflection of a lot of hard work, sacrifice, and a little bit of luck. I still try that jacket on at least once a year, and those feelings always return. Tonight, I'd like to share with you a short video from my era at Notre Dame that I think will help connect the past to the present. My junior year, we were good enough to win the national championship, and these clips are taken from that highlight film. How times have changed. 38 years ago, we casually walked across campus to pick up our letter jackets. Some of us also wore red plaid pants, but I'm not sure that was such a good thing. But some things haven't changed, and that one constant has always been the letter jacket. So from Joe Montana to Ken McAfee or myself, we were always proud to wear that jacket. Today, it still stands for commitment, dedication, teamwork, sacrifice, and personal pride. It has become one of the endearing traditions here at Notre Dame. One of the things that I didn't realize at the time, and I've come to appreciate over the years, is the quality of the education that I received here on this campus. When I was being recruited, Coach Yanto was coming out to meet my parents for the first time, and he told them that Notre Dame was interested in having me come here to play football, but that I also get a great education as well. Now, you have to understand, my dad was the head football coach at Harvard at the time, so Coach Yanto might have just been telling my parents what they wanted to hear. But it didn't take me long after I got on campus to realize that Coach Yanto was 100% correct. I've said it many times that Notre Dame offers the best combination of academics and athletics in the country. That statement is just as true today as it was in the past. Like most of my teammates, one of my goals after graduation was to play professional sports. And after my senior year, I was drafted by the Chicago Bears. And I went through camp, and right before our first regular season game, I got a call that I was supposed to meet the head coach in his office, and I should bring my playbook. It's not the type of call that you want to get. I was devastated. I met with Coach Armstrong, and he told me that I wasn't going to make the team. I wasn't good enough to play. But because of our emphasis on education here, it took me about a day to land on my feet, since I had already been accepted to go to dental school at the University of Pennsylvania. 2 years later, there was another league that was formed. It was called the USFL, and they were going to play their games in the spring from January to June. And I was contacted by one of the teams in that league to see if I still had the desire to play professional sports, which of course I did. The only problem I had at the time was that I was a full-time dental student. So I did some research, and I went in and I met with a dean of students at the University of Pennsylvania. And after that discussion, I could tell he had picked up my academic record. And he told me that because of my background here at Notre Dame, and my work at the University of Pennsylvania that they were going to try and allow me to accomplish that goal. So that's what I did for the next 3 years. I'd play football from January to June, and I'd go to dental school from July through December. And every year I went back to dental school, I'd be with a new class. And as I'd get to meet my new classmates, they would just kind of shake their head. They couldn't understand how someone would play professional sports and go to school at the same time. And I would just kind of chuckle. Because for me, and actually for everyone in this room, that's what we do here at Notre Dame on a daily basis. We compete at the highest levels out on the athletic fields. And then you come in, and if you're smart, you take care of business in the classroom. If there's one piece of advice I could leave with you tonight, it would be to take care of the educational opportunities you have here on campus. Notre Dame has a great tradition of educating its student athletes, and I am living proof that that education will pay off many times over in the future. I know the football players here know this, but if you ever get a chance to go into the football locker room at the stadium, along one wall you'll see a plaque of the famous Win One for the Gipper speech. Myself and my teammates, we would read that plaque before we went out of the locker room on Saturday, because it reminded us of the great history of Notre Dame football and the responsibility that we felt to the teams that were here before us and the opportunities that we might have to add to that legacy. After I read that speech, I would also recite the Competitor's Creed by Theodore Roosevelt. And I've changed it up just a bit, but I'd like to share it with you tonight. It's not the critic who counts, or the man who points out how the strong man stumbled, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is in the arena, whose face is marked by dust and sweat and blood, who knows the great emotions, the great devotions, and who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at his very best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at his worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place will never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. To the student athletes here this evening, either today or in the future, whether it be in the athletic arena, in the classroom, in your relationships, or in your business, dare to be great. Dare to be great in everything that you do. That is one of the most valuable lessons that they teach us here at Notre Dame. 38 years ago, I didn't understand it at the time, but I've come to realize over the years that I received much more than a letter jacket. As I've given it some thought, I've come to realize that it was actually an induction into a club that would affect me for the rest of my life. Remember then that 15 or 20 years from now, each one of you will have the opportunity to be back here at Notre Dame at some point. You might be with friends, you might be with families, but at that time you'll have the opportunity to go into Heritage Hall and look up and see your own name. In the next few days, or maybe the next few weeks, I'd like you to try and all visualize what that moment might be like. And just for a minute, think of what your name means to you, and more importantly, what it might mean to others. And contemplate, if you can, what you want your legacy here at Notre Dame to be. This letter jacket is a great achievement, but it's the person inside that jacket that will determine your legacy. I had the opportunity to play for Coach Devine, and one of his favorite sayings was to leave the field each day a better player and to leave Notre Dame a better person. I think it is equally important for each one of us here this evening to strive to leave Notre Dame a better place as well. So to the 60 athletes here this evening, you have now entered into a very select group, and I'd like to offer my congratulations. Hopefully, this evening will be but one of the many milestones that you will achieve during your careers here at Notre Dame. Thank you, and go Irish.